Pots are correct. One time.
Going for a nice walk before we get into this session. Woo! It's warm out. Let's get into this action. This is a GTO warning. Do not watch this video if you are expecting amazing robotic plays and GTO theory talk. This is an account of how I played my hands and hopefully exploited my opponents. Thank you and enjoy.
She didn't learn that yet?
No, we get the game theory optimal in the third year of law school. At this club they play 1-2 and they were offering a $50 promotion for the first 5 players. So I went ahead and showed up, bought him for $160 and got $50 for free. In this first hand we are going to go over, I am on the button and look down at 9 of hearts, 10 of clubs. There are a few limps and I raise to $15. Get 2 callers. Flop comes 10 of hearts, 7 of clubs, jack of spades. Action checks to me, semi-wet board but favors my range, so I bet $20. And both players make the call. The turn is the 4 of spades, bringing a backdoor flush draw. With both players checking to me again on the turn, it generally caps their range to 1 pair or a draw. Heads up, I most likely bet this turn to charge flush draws or bluff out any better pairs. But multi-way, I check back and take a free river card because I know I'm going to smash this river. And after I check, the 8 of diamonds peels off, giving us the straight. And now early position leads out for $25. The other player folds and I call. Wait. I get there and just call? I feel like I should be raising here. Yes, you should have with the second nuts. But we roll our hand and our opponent shows us king 7 of spades and we take this one down. Okay, it's early on. I made 1 mistake, no big deal. Next hand is a bomb pot with 6 participants. I can redeem myself. It's very hard to make mistakes in a bomb pot. When I get dealt an awful jack deuce 7-3, the first flop is 8 jack 5 with 2 spades, and the second flop is ace deuce deuce. So we have an okay hand on one board. Checks to late position who bets $20. Button calls, and with 3 of a kind on one board, I'll peel for $20. Turn on the first board is an ace of diamonds. Turn on the second board is the 10 of clubs. Not bad turn necessarily unless someone has aces. This time the action checks through though. The river on the top is the 4 of hearts and on the bottom is the 7 of diamonds. Nice, we bowed up on the second board. Late position now bets $30, 1 fold, and I call with a full house on the bottom board. I have a full house on the bottom.
Okay, then I think you're good there.
Jack 2, 3. I have a wheel on the bottom. I'm in the top. Ace 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I scooped. Yeah, so I clearly didn't even notice I had a wheel on the top, or else I would have raised this river. You know, guys, so 2 hands, 2 mistakes. About typical for a low stakes live player pretending to be a pro missing max value. I don't know who that would be, but I'm just saying. Okay, let's fix these mistakes. Looking down at the lucky ladies, 2 queens in the small blind. As middle position looks at his hand, he says, oh yeah, I'm gonna lose a big pot here, and elects to raise to $11, which typically means he probably has some marginal face cards. It's on me, and he welcomes me to 3-bet, and I oblige to $33. He calls, leaving himself about $50 behind. The flop comes 7 of spades, king of hearts, 9 of clubs, and he checks. It's highly likely he missed most of this flop, and I'm just going to go ahead and bet $50 and put him all in, to which he quickly calls and flips over king jack of spades. Guess he didn't miss this flop. The turn gives us more outs with the 10 of clubs, possibly a jack one time. Nah, it's a queen, and he wins with a straight. Hey, that's okay. I have a feeling I'm going to get it back, and that has nothing to do with the thumbnail. Now I get dealt the speed limit in most Midwest states, pocket fives. I decided to raise to $15, and the same player as the last hand now 3-bets me to $45. I decided to call as he is known to get a little wild from time to time. The flop is 2 of hearts, 3 of diamonds, 10 of hearts. That's actually a really good flop for our hand. I check it to him, and when he checks it back, It is with remarkable accuracy that I know he has 2 overs. The turn comes the 9 of clubs, and I could lead here, but I want to see if he will bluff at it, so I check, and he exclaims down bet as he makes it $20. Clearly a tiny bluff hoping I fold, but he's wrong. I call. The river is the beautiful 4 of spades. Out of position, I don't like a donk bet, because if it gets wild and he thinks he can bluff me off this hand and raises, I shouldn't really hero call. So I check and he checks back, and we take this one down. And he oddly enough had king jack. Let's do a mystery hand on this one. Winner gets a $5 Amazon gift card. There will be no action shown, but this is the actual hand. On the button, I straddle, small blind calls, folds to me, and I make it $15. The small blind calls. The flop comes 8 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds, 10 of spades. Small blind checks, and I bet $20. Small blind calls. Turn is the 10 of clubs. Small blind checks, I bet $60. Small blind calls. The river is the 4 of diamonds. Once again, the small blind checks, and now I fire $75. The small blind calls. Answer in the comments below what specific 2 cards I hold, and do I win or lose. First comment to get it exactly right will get their comment pinned and gets a shout out on the next vlog. And you know what? Let's make it a $10 Amazon gift card. For all the naysayers out there, I will show the footage next week and the results of the hand to prove that I didn't make that up. Okay, back to the action. Now I'm in the big blind and get ace deuce of diamonds. There are 2 limps, and late position raises to $12. He gets 2 callers, and now it's on me, and I call, and also the 2 limpers call. 6 ways to a flop of ace ace 9. Bingo. I check, and action checks to the original raiser, who bets $25. The button calls $25. Now the crappy part about a hand like trips with absolutely no kicker is I can't necessarily raise 6 ways. If I get called on this dry board, I'm most likely beat. So I just call $25, and under the gun also calls. So we are 4 ways to a turn card that is the queen of clubs. At this point, still 4 ways, I'm just going to check. I'm in check call mode, and the action checks around. Now the river brings in the backdoor flush with the 4 of clubs, and I just go ahead and check. No one bets, and I get to take this decent pot down. I think there is plenty of ways to play this hand depending on how you feel, but with a deuce kicker, I'm content getting the showdown and scooping it up. Here I look down at ace jack offsuit in middle position with a $5 button straddle and 2 limps. I raise the $30 and get 3 callers. So we head to a flop 4 ways that is jack 10 9 rainbow. It checks to me, and with top, I'm going to continuation bet this. It is a draw heavy board, but none of my opponents seem that interested. So I bet $45. And now the player behind me shoves all in. The other 2 players fold, and normally I think this would be a slam dunk fold, but this guy literally only has $56 more on top of the 45 that I bet. And the pot's 275-ish, giving us 5-1. I'm just not folding here because this guy could also do this with any random queen or draw. So he's been fairly loose all day. I call. He does show at 9-10 for bottom 2, so I'm not in terrible shape. The turn is the 6 of hearts, no help, and the river is the 8 of diamonds, and I lose this one. But now, moving on to an interesting hand I can break down, we get pocket kings on the button. Thank you very much. And there are a few calls of my button straddle. I elect to raise to $45 as I want to ISO this hand and get as few callers post flop as possible. To my surprise, I get 2 callers. So we are 3 ways to a flop that comes 10-3-6 with 2 diamonds. Both opponents check to me, and there just mostly isn't a planet where I don't bet this. But if we were heads up, I guess you could argue a check back since we hold the king of diamonds, blocking a lot of king X flush draws. But that isn't the case. We are multi-ways, and I struggle going back and forth between sizing here. I think that's the real question. I elect to go with a large sizing of $125. Given the effective stack sizes here, I do think I should have probably went with a slightly smaller sizing, something like $75, and then apply max pressure on the turn, clearly depending upon what the turn is and how many calls I get. I end up only getting 1 call here, and the other player folds, the player that called only has about $135 left behind. So that's an interesting call. He has very, very small stack to pot ratio now. And we are heads up to a turn that comes the ace of clubs. We all know when you hold kings, typically an ace on the board is a disaster for you. But in this situation, I feel like he only holds ace X of diamonds or possibly ace 10 for 2 pair. I really don't see ace 3, ace 6 calling this flop bet. So with that in mind, he only has 135 behind. I feel like this is specifically where the smaller bet on the flop comes in, because then it probably saves us money here. But I don't really want to give him a free river card to draw to just a naked flush draw if he doesn't have the ace. So when he checks, I just put him all in for 135. He snap calls. We quickly see a river that is the 2 of diamonds, so we're almost never good here. Our suspicions are confirmed when he shows us ace 5 of diamonds. After looking back, I think the takeaways are sizings of bets in relation to stack depths and giving ourselves a chance to make plays that lead us to getting away from hands. I really don't think I played it terrible with big bets. I do always want to get the money in when I am pretty sure I'm ahead. But nonetheless, we are decimated and left with $60. Not bad though. We're only in for 160 technically, so we're only down 100. But now we have to pose a question to ourselves. Do we try to run this 60 up or do we add on? And with these kind of pots going, it's kind of like walking into a nice restaurant. I'm not Barbara, by the way, but it was recently my birthday. You know you're going to pay a decent amount for a meal, but do you just take what is offered and get the shrimp, or do you go for the big one? And to be honest, I'm a vodka martini and crab legs kind of guy. What man would do? I add on for $570. We play a few small pots before picking up the jiggities, 1 limp, and I raise to $35. It folds to a wild player who now jams all in for $80 total. It folds back to me, and I'm never folding to this guy as I've seen him go all in blind for $200. I snap, and of course he shows pocket queens. And if that weren't enough, he snaps off a queen in the window with the run out of queen 6, deuce, deuce, 5. Well, you know, folks, they say, if you can't win playing the good cards. We are in the big blind and look down at 9-3 of hearts. We elect to go with the loosey-goosey call of a $10 raise. 2 other people call, and we are 4 ways to a flop. That is king of hearts, 7 hearts, 4 spades. Checks to the original raiser in late position, and he bets $15, and all 3 of us make the call. The turn comes the ace of clubs. I haven't got there yet, so I check. The rest of them are scared of the ace, so they check. The river comes bingo bango, the 6 of hearts, and I check once again because my flush isn't that big. It checks around, and 1 player ends up betting $50, and of course I call. Everyone else folds, and we take this pot down. Sadly, we're running out of space and battery on our phone, and our stack heads south. We are sitting on about $380-ish. And earlier I forgot to mention there is a promotion with a mystery hand. If you win a pot with the hand that they draw, you can win $1,000. Okay, so I showed you guys the promotion that they have going on. It's a mystery hand. If you win with 10-7, then you win the $1,000. But that's for Holdem. If you win Omaha with 10-7, it's $2,000 because it's a rollover from the night before when they didn't get a PLO game. Yes, the game has to be PLO. Now we're deep into the night. I've been playing for about 6.5 hours. It's probably about 9:30 at night, and I want a shot at the 2,000. I asked the table, do they want to switch to Omaha? They say yeah. We play a little bit of Omaha. I'm not up or down really anything, and then we get dealt ace king 10-7. There's a raise to $15. I call, another player calls, and the flop comes 10-7-3, and we are like, please hold, please hold, please hold, please hold. We have to check it down because it has to go to showdown. If I hit an ace or a king, that's not the best hand. Luckily, we check it down, we get there, 10-7's the winner, we take home the $2,000. Victory for the night. This is amazing. Great news for us. But the night isn't over. We continue to play. So let's move on to the last hand I play of the night. Before I get the promo money, I get involved in this hand where I'm dealt ace 5-5 deuce double suited and raise to $20. I get 2 callers, under the gun, and the button. The flop comes 5, 6, 7 rainbow with 1 spade. I lead out pot of $60, under the gun calls, and then the button repots to over 200. So it's on me. This player's wild and crazy all night. He's wearing about $75,000 worth of jewelry. I'm not that worried about him, but the smooth call behind my pot bet, I am slightly worried about. But since we're now up on the night, I'm like, let's get it in here. Let's gamble. I jam $396 all in, and the under the gun reships all in. The button calls both of us, and all of our money is in the middle 3 ways. Both opponents have 8-9 for the nut straight. One has a backdoor heart draw, and the other one just has a pair of 6s with his straight. We are going 1 time for all the money, and here is the run out.
Odds are correct. 1 time.
1 time. Oh! Good hand, my man. Keep going. Good hand. Side points. We split the side pot.
I scooped this entire main pot. Sadly, though, after looking at the footage, I realized the dealer shorted me $100 when dragging the money in. But that's okay because I caught it and I was made whole by the club. Right now is when I actually get my $2,000 for the promo, and had it been a hand earlier, I would have gotten all the money on the table and it would have been over a 4K pot my way. But I'm not greedy. I'm happy with the end result. The game pretty much breaks after this, and that hand won me the Omaha High Hand promotion for the hour. So I get an extra $250. I tipped the dealer $70 as he dealt me all of those hands, the same dealer, and I'm in this game for $730 and cash out for $3,300 for a total profit of $2,570. As always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash that notifications bell so you know when the next vlog's coming out.